it's Tamika. I'm here to share with you guys a quick project and tutorial using the Prima Heaven Sent paper collection. And recently it's become more requested than it was when I first uploaded the video. And it's a super easy and fast custom treat box. And you could make this in any size. You can use any toppers. Some of the parts are very much interchangeable. So I will quickly show you what the project looks like, and then you'll have the silhouette tutorial and then the put together part. So here we go. Really easy. It's super cute, super cute. And like I said, I'll put the original video that I used. It was for a swap, and I had to put together something really quick, and this is what I came up with. So it's a little bit of a different version on the front. I had a wreath and a gorgeous girl and some other stuff on there, so you guys will see that if you click. But this is how the cute little treat box turned out. Really cute. You can just untie, or the recipient will just untie this bow, and then you have room in here on the inside to put whatever treats in there, and you just thread it back and put it back together. So let's go ahead and get to the tutorial. Alright, I am starting out with a 12 by 12 mat on my computer using the Silhouette Cameo. I am going to grab a couple of files that I am going to use to make this treat box. The first thing I'm going to grab is a shape or topper to put on top of the door. That can be any of these shapes. You can break down in whatever design you want to be at the top. You can do the same technique. I like to use the nested fancy Artisan tags. All of the labels and links will be in the description box of the items that I used for this treat box below. So this is the nested, forgot already. What is it? Nested fancy Artisan tags, and I'm going to use that as my door topper. I am also going to need a wreath, so I'm typing faster than my computer is thinking. So I am just typing in wreath, and then this particular file has a door and a wreath on it, of which I use both of those items. So I just double click that and put that onto my mat because we're going to use that. I'm going to move these out the way a little bit. So we have the door topper, we have the door, we have the wreath, and then I am going to need a box. So typically I put in treat box, but I particularly like this cupcake one only because it's simple and easy to grab, and I know it's exactly what I want. And it's a 3D cupcake file, I believe, once my computer catches up with me. If I can spell it, this reason why I don't have it, because I don't know how to spell treat. Let's see here. There we go. 3D cupcake box. So I'm going to double click that and add that to my mat. So I have all of the items that I'll need for now here on my mat. So since the cupcake box is sitting here and it's highlighted, I'm going to, in this lower left hand side down here where my mouse is circling, I'm going to ungroup these files. And I'm going to remove this box down here. Easy box to put a treat, easy treat box file. I'm going to highlight the rest of that and press the delete button because I don't need it. Now we're going to move on to our tags, which is going to be our door topper. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to highlight it, go down and ungroup the files, and I'm going to move one out of the way. I'm going to highlight the rest of them and hit the delete button because, again, we don't need it. And the same goes for this wreath and door card file. I'm going to ungroup it, and I'm going to highlight this door because that's all been separately grouped together or ungrouped together. So we're going to need the door, and then I know that this wreath is all separated, so we're going to highlight that, group it together, and then these two I'm going to put the wreath together, be easier for sizing later. So I'll put that all together and then group all of those together. Like so. And then this card and other objects we don't need, I'm going to hit the delete button. Okay, this treat box can be any size. I'm just going to give you the measurements for the one that I created, and you can resize this, group these things all together and resize this as you see fit. So first thing, I'm going to turn this door right side up. Be easier. So I just turned it, rotated, hit the rotate button, and turn that upside or right side up. Okay, The first thing you want to do is to draw a rectangle. Over on this left hand side, there's a little box here, it says draw a rectangle, and then we just want to draw a rectangle. I'm going to highlight that. We're going to go over here to the left, or to the right, and to the scale button, and then we're going to unlock the aspect ratio, and then we're just going to put in 3 by 6. Now you can put this, make this whatever size you'd like to make. Okay, so now it's 3 by 6. And that's what we're going to use to base off everything. This is going to be the front of our treat box. Alright, let's move the wreath out of the way. Now, the box part, the thing that you would have to worry about is fitting these lines. This row here, these perforated marks need to be sized to fit the width of whatever this box is. So whatever base size you want your tree box, whether it's super big or super small, it needs to fit the width of this box. I focus on this square here because all of these little tabs are going to be folded over. So this part needs to work. So all I'm doing is sizing it up, and this is how I say this could be any size that you need it to be, because there's no real numbers. You just look at it and make sure it matches up, basically. So I am just expanding this box so that those perforated marks fit snugly inside that rectangle. I've moved the rectangle by accident, but okay, let's see. I'll now give you the measurements. Now see, that is perfect. You see, so when you fold the box, it will be right at that line. You see these two lines? You want them to fit inside here, because when you fold the box up, this is your bottom, going to be your bottom piece. These tabs won't matter, they won't show, but you need to get this rectangle fitted inside this box so there doesn't be any overhang. Okay, now so your base the base rectangle that I have is 3 by 6. And then just so you can copy, if you want to copy exactly how I did it, this measurement is 8.636 by 2.509. You can just do that by coming over to the right side, unlocking your aspect ratio, and putting those numbers in. So here are those numbers over here, so that yours can be fitted exactly how mine is. So that's box is done. Now we can work on this door, just making sure that it fits within this box. Okay, so I want to make this a bit smaller. Oh, if I can pick up my mouse when I want it to, would be all gravy. Let's see here. Just want it to fit exactly on there, and that's a tiny bit big. I think I'm just going. So I'm going to highlight that and then just press my, not press my mind, but get that just a bit smaller. Okay, that works. That works. Okay, so the measurement for this door is 5.926 by 3.022. So we have our door done. And we have our base here. Now the next thing we want to do is take our shape, in this case it's this Artisan Tag, and we want to expand that just a little bit to fit on top of the tag where we wanted to cut off at. So I wanted to kind of cut off at these little indentations right here, like with this dents in. I want it to fit right on top of that. So actually I'll make it a little bit bigger. I can always reduce the size or enlarge or reduce the size once I cut it. So let's see. That looks about right. So I am going to take my knife over here on the left hand side, and then my little cursor becomes a knife, and I'm going to cut it off where I want just the topper. It's going to hold it, and then drag it to the other side. Make sure you turn your cursor back into an arrow, and then remove this bottom part. Just highlight it and press delete. So now you're left with this. Now I don't want this hole in here, so I am going to release the compound path, highlight it, right click, release compound path, and it makes it into two pieces, and then I'm going to take that hole off. So if you can't ungroup it, that means the person who put the file together grouped it already themselves. So you just release the compound path, and then you can take it off that way. So take your two pieces and layer them on top of each other the best way you can, and even it out, align it up the best way you can. So I think that's pretty good. It's almost perfect. Highlight the two pieces together, go up to Object at the top, and hit Modify and Weld. Boom, you got your topper. Done deal. So now you want to make sure everything fits, so that'll fit on your door. Okay, wait, where are we? It's made it somehow smaller. So I'm going to squeeze my door down a tinge more, and then I'll give you guys the new numbers. I don't want any overhang. Let's see. Put it back on here and then just take a look. Okay. So the door is 2.988 by 5.860. All right. So the next thing, that's where you always want to go back and just test everything. So the next thing is this wreath, which is what I made for the original, but you can make whatever you want to make as this adaptation, or just skip it altogether. One quick note before I do that is when you're doing this part, when you're putting this on top to see if it matches, make sure that you have enough to put a hole in here where your eyelet, so you can close your treat bag. So you don't want the topper to be like right there, because then that's not a lot of room left for you to put the hole to tie your tool and stuff through. So back to the wreath. That's all grouped together. So you just want to enlarge it to see, you know, how big you want it to be on your treat bag, how big or small. And I kind of want it, you know, to be right there. So then once you've measured it, you just want to highlight it and ungroup it so that all the pieces will cut out separately. So as an end result, if you want some vellum or a piece of sheet of paper behind these windows, you don't want that directly on there, you can either cut out a square, or since you're already cutting, you might as well just make the exact size and cut it out when you're cutting the rest of your part. So just highlight this door, go over to the offset window and hit the offset button, and then you want the distance to be 0 because you just want an exact size, and then corner and apply. And then if you move your door over, you have the exact size. So this is the piece that you're going to use as what I use as a vellum, or you can put a color sheet behind it and, you know, make some contrast between the door and the treat box. But this sheet you want to cut out twice for the front and back. You want to cut out 2 doors for the front and back, 2 bases for your box front and back, 1 box bottom, and then your contents. So that's it. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. Please stay tuned for the recording on how to put the box together. It is really, really easy and fun to put together. Also, keep in mind, I ended up not using the wreath in the normal way, but I will put a link to the tutorial for the previous or the original treat box that I created so you guys can see where I placed that wreath at. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. Otherwise, stay tuned for the put together of the box. Alright, to get started, you're just going to need a couple things. Optional is some lightweight chipboard, serial weight. It's used to pop up the door a little bit, but it's totally optional. You'll need some tulle, trim, lace, whatever you're going to use as a closure, your crocodile, 2 eyelets, a piece to make like the faux door. I'm using these flat back gold buttons by Studio G, and then your die cut pieces. Also, I'm using this sticker from the collection as a sentiment. I think if I don't use the wreath, I'm undecided. And then some scissors. So the first thing you want to do is get your bottom box and fold that over. This is already perforated. Super easy. And then grab your two bases. And this is the base colors that I chose. You can use, oh, it's obviously some adhesive. You can use hot glue, or you can use double-sided tape if you don't feel comfortable tacking on the hot glue. So I like the hot glue, so what I'm going to do is add some hot glue on the one side of the box. So 1, 2, 3. You can do them one at a time if you don't feel comfortable, or just use double-sided tape altogether. So I got my hot glue going, and I am just going to quickly and carefully adhere this to the door here, the base. 1, 2, and 3. So that's how that looks so far. I'm gonna put a little more glue on here. Probably got cool as I was placing it. Just gonna put a little dot to close that up. Alright. And then you want to do the same thing for the top. So you're just going to add the adhesive on those 3 pieces and then lay your top down from there. So I'm going to grab my hot glue. Woo! I pushed that one a little too rough. We have a leaker here. Alright. Just want to carefully match that up. Put that over and adhere that down really well. Okay. So now you have your 2 pieces. Really cute, right? Okay. So I cut my pieces behind my shimmery pieces behind the door out of vellum. This is some vellum I got from a paper pad a while ago. I can't even tell you where it came from. So this is going to go behind here. You can use double-sided tape for that. See how shimmery that'll look with that background. Super cute. You can use plain vellum. You can even use acetate as well. That will look good too. So I am just going to attach that with some ATG tape. Double-sided tape would work too, but for the purposes of the video. Alright. Gonna make sure I add enough to cover everywhere. And I'm actually going to do the middles as well. Make sure everything is adhered. And then one more line. Okay. So, I'm going to line that up with the door frame. The vellum piece, rather. Give that a good press. So you have that. I have a tiny bit of overage. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to the other piece. Okay, we're just going to line this up as well. Okay, so the next thing is optional, but for the front of my door, I want to add a little bit of height. So I'm going to add a couple of these strips around the edges. And I did this on the previous box that I had, and I thought that it looked really nice. So we don't want it to show, so we're just going to put them around the edges of the door where you can't see from the other side. And this is lightweight cereal box chipboard. So this is what we have so far, the pieces on the back, and I'm just going to add this to the box. Use some glue on the back, and I'm going to gear it more towards, I mean, it's going to line up, but I'm going to start at the bottom. I don't want any floating doors. Take the box, line it up. Perfect. All right, and then we're just going to do the back. And if you have directional paper, just make sure you're going in the right direction. Super cute and sturdy box. But whatever you're going to put in there. Even though this paper is pretty sturdy, but it won't hurt. All right, so the next thing I want to do is add my eyelets. And I'm just going to take my We Are Memory Keepers here, and then I'm going to eyeball it right about there in the middle. And I'm going to close them together and do the other side to match them up. Like that. Next thing you want to do is put your eyelets on. You need two. There you go. And then just get those in there nice and set. Okay. And then do the opposite side. Okay. Now we can get our tool and thread these babies through. So just want to take the end of your tool and thread it through both sides. Okay, now once you thread that through, just pull enough through so that you can cut off the end like that, just a little bit, and tie it in a knot. Like a nice good knot. Tie it through a knot. Now you can leave this hangage if you want. I cut it off. It's just to keep that end of the box secure, so when the recipient opens it up, they can just thread it through. Tie that through here, and then the front you can put in a bow. Super cute little bow. Fluff it out as you need to. Alright, so we're done with that part. Now you can just decorate. Now this is the wreath that I had, that you guys had asked so much about in the other box. So if I was going to put it on here, it would look, you know, something like this. Isn't that cute? Super cute. You can use this to hang, make a little tag. But I don't think I'm going to use it. I instead would like to use this cute little sentiment and like put that on here. Or maybe I can do both. Let's see. Let's see how it would look. I think it might be too busy. Yeah, that's too busy. But I could combine them, sort of. Like that. Yeah, we'll do that. just attach them together and then put this cute little sentiment there. And let's see how that will look with a little door, little gold doorknob. Let's see. I'm going to put the doorknob right there. A little glue. A little knob. And then a sentiment here. And I'm actually just going to, you put it up on a pop dot or what have you. I'm going to grab some more of that chipboard. Cut it into some sections and add it that way. Oops, put a little hot glue on here. Just 3 thin layers. It's about the equivalent of a pop dot. This is really thin chipboard. See? Very thin. So I'm going to add some glue to the back of that. And then you just add this little baby right there. This is really cute. It says the littlest feet make the biggest footprints in our hearts. Loving the moment. Really cute. So that's how you put it together. So there we have it, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below. I want to thank all my new subscribers for coming and binge watching my videos, and your funny comments are hilarious, you guys. So welcome, welcome. I do have a lot of the tutorials on my list to make from my channel. So, but if you have any requests of items that I've made that you will, you know, tutorials or silhouette items that I made that you would like to see or explain, please leave them below. I can always add them to the list and we can maybe get those done. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video if you like it, and bye.